In the hypostasis of the Archons govern the material world and influence human souls. The text states, the Archons created 7 powers for themselves, and these powers created 6 angels for each of them, until they became 365 angels. This creation establishes a coexistence where the Archons, A, directly affect human souls, B, through their governance of the material world, C. The material world's influence on human souls is evident in the text. They had taken form in the following way. By the will of the Father of the entirety, the 4 lights appeared from the divine autogenes, and it expressed the will of the invisible Spirit. The relationship is reciprocal, as human souls are influenced by and influence the material world they inhabit. In the narrative of the hypostasis of the Archons hold significant sway over the material world. This dominion allows them to exert control and influence over human souls. The Archons, as celestial entities or powers, shape the material conditions and spiritual frameworks within which human souls must operate. This control over the material world is not just a direct governance, but is part of a larger cosmic purpose or design, as suggested by their creation of a complex hierarchy of angels. Each layer of this celestial bureaucracy underpins the Archon's ability to maintain and manage the material world, thereby influencing human experiences and existences. Human souls, in turn, are not merely passive recipients of celestial influence. Instead, they interact with and respond to the material conditions set by the Archons. This interaction suggests that while the Archons orchestrate the structural and metaphysical conditions of the world, human souls have agency within these bounds, possibly influencing the material world through their actions, choices, and spiritual evolution. This agency can reflect back onto the celestial realm, affecting the Archon's governance in subtle ways, completing a cycle of influence that reinforces the interconnectedness of all 3 elements. The reciprocal nature of these influences ensures that each entity's existence and state are contingent upon the others. This systemic interdependency highlights a philosophical and theological view where the divine, the spiritual, and the material are not isolated realms but are profoundly connected, each influencing and defining the contours of the other. This coexistence speaks to a universe where spiritual realities govern material conditions, and material realities in turn shape spiritual experiences, forming a continuous loop of creation, influence, and evolution. In the hypostasis of the Archons we see, the Archons rule and they decree. 7 powers birthed, from them did spring, 6 angels each their numbers bring. A cosmic tale where spirits sway over the world, they hold their way. From divine will the lights emerge, the Father's intent the spirits surge. The Archons mold the world we know, in their grasp the forces flow. A hierarchy of angels high, through them the human souls must try. Material world, their grand design, in human hearts the spirits shine. Not just puppets on a string, souls respond, they also sing. The Archons rule not absolute, for souls within they do refute, agency within constraints, influence the world's complaints. Reciprocal the forces blend, each on each they do depend. Divine and human hand in hand shape the cosmos, understand. Spiritual realm and earthly plane in a dance that does remain. Material shapes the soul's ascent, spiritual guides the world's intent. The cycle turns, a sacred loop, creation's never-ending troop. From divine, the world receives, from the world, the spirit grieves. In this tale a truth is found, a cosmic dance, a sacred ground. All are one, yet each distinct. Through them all, the worlds are linked. The spirit represents divine opposition to the Archons and the material world. And he blew into his face, and the man came to have a soul and remained upon the ground many days. The spirit seeks liberation from the Archon's control, which is bound up in the material world. The rejection of materiality and the Archon's governance is a central theme, creating a state of equilibrium where the spirit opposes and balances against the forces of material existence. In the narrative context, the spirit represents a divine or transcendent essence that inherently resists and opposes the control exerted by the Archons and the limitations imposed by the material world. This spirit is conceived as a force of liberation and spiritual transcendence that seeks to free human essence from the constraints and dominations of the Archons, a celestial bureaucracy that governs the material world. The spirit's opposition to the Archons underpins a fundamental philosophical dichotomy between spirit and matter, freedom and control. The Archons, as entities, embody the governance of the physical material world and inherently oppose the liberating influence of the spirit. Their existence and actions are designed to maintain structure and order within the material realm, which by its nature is viewed as limiting or even imprisoning the spiritual potential of humanity. This view of the material world as a domain of entrapment aligns with the Archons' objectives, reinforcing their opposition to the spirit. The material world, therefore, becomes both a battleground and a connecting point where these forces interact and resist each other. The equilibrium in this triad is maintained through continuous opposition and interaction. The spirit's efforts to liberate and transcend the material constraints are balanced by the Archons' efforts to maintain control and order. This ongoing tension creates a stable system where neither force can completely dominate, leading to a state of existential balance. The material world, as the medium of this conflict, is influenced by both forces. It is shaped and reshaped by the spiritual aspirations of liberation and the structural necessities of control and governance. Thus, in this metaphysical framework, equilibrium is not merely a cessation of conflict, but an active, dynamic process of opposition that sustains the cosmos. Each force checks and balances the other, ensuring that neither spiritual liberation nor material control becomes absolute, maintaining a complex, interwoven tapestry of influence and counter-influence. The metaphysical framework presented in the Hypostasis of the Archons emphasizes a universe where forces are not isolated, but are deeply interwoven, with actions in one sphere inevitably echoing through the others. The narrative illustrates a cosmos where the divine, the spiritual, and the material are engaged in a perpetual interaction, each influencing the shape and essence of the others. This system of dynamic balance and mutual influence underscores a philosophical view of existence as a field of continuous struggle and negotiation between constraining and liberating forces. In this cosmic drama, every element, be it the Archons, human souls, the material world, or the spirit, plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the universe, ensuring that no single force achieves overwhelming dominance. The analysis thus captures a universe rich in interaction, where spiritual and material realms are not merely overlapping, but are fundamentally defined by their interactions and oppositions. This continuous interaction not only sustains the cosmos, but also drives its evolution, reflecting a complex tapestry of creation, influence, and transformation. In the Hypostasis of the Archons, behold, the spirit's tale of courage bold. It breathes life into mortal clay. A soul ignites to find its way. The Archons rule the worldly sphere. Their grip of control, their reign severe, material binds and spirits bound. The spirit's call, a freeing sound. Divine resistance, spirit's aim. To break the chains, ignite the flame. Transcendence sought, liberation's flight against the Archons' binding might. The Archons, architects of the mundane, their structured order, spirit strain, to hold the world in their command, against the spirit's liberating hand. A cosmic struggle, dichotomy, of spirit's freedom, material's decree. The spirit seeks to rise above, material's weight, to realms of love. The Archons and the world they steer seek to contain what souls hold dear. The spirit's force, a rebel's cry, to lift the soul beyond the sky. Equilibrium in this strife. A balance in the dance of life. The spirit pushes, Archons pull, a cosmic balance ever full. Material world, the battleground where spirit's cries and chains resound. The spirit's touch, a fleeting grace in the Archons' well-ordered space. An existential interplay where neither force can seize the day, oppositions dance, an endless fight, maintains the balance, dark and light. This equilibrium, not of peace, but active tension, never cease. A dynamic cosmos interwove of spirit's flight and Archons' clove. The spirit's call, a song of hope. In chains of matter it does grope, yet in its quest the balance holds, a cosmic tale forever told.